Hello everyone, my name is Austin Revel. I'm owner and CEO of 2F by C Tactical. We are a gun shop located in New Prague, Minnesota, which is just a little bit west of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Far enough away to be safe, as they say, here in Minnesota. For those of you who know me, you know I'm very passionate about the Second Amendment, and I've been kind of hinting at doing this podcast for a little while. As you can imagine, there's a lot always going on owning a business, especially a small business, and therefore I've been kind of busy. But now I'm finally getting to it. This is great. It's been something that has been brewing on my mind for several months, and I can't wait to get into this with you guys. As you can see, I'm coming from my man cave here. This is some of the historical pieces in my current collection behind me, and maybe there will be a time one day where we actually go through some of these items and others that aren't on the wall behind me, but that I have in my personal collection. Maybe even some cool things that come into the shop. We can talk about the histories, the traditions, what they were designed for, their specific uses. As you can see behind me, these are all military rifles, what their specific uses were in the respective militaries in which they served, and and the significance of that history and how it impacts us today. But as for now, what I really want to do is go into firearm and specifically gun control law in the United States. I want to give a shout out to Guns and Gadgets and Forgotten Weapons, Ian McCollum and Jared, respectively. They do a great job breaking down, historical firearms behind me for Ian McCollum, and then for Guns and Gadgets, keeping us updated on Second Amendment news and the everyday happenings in Congress versus ATF overreach and all that. And what I want to do is something a little different. We will discuss at the end of some of these videos, and I'm going to try to keep them to, under 10 minutes. I'll discuss a little bit about the politics behind individual gun control laws, but I really want to get into what is the laws that were on the books, why were they written, and what was their purpose? Like, what did they purport to do? And to understand that, you need to understand a little bit of the history of the time and the significance of it. So we're going to start with the National Firearms Act. We're going to hop in the DeLorean, go back in time with Doc Brown and Marty McFly. We're going to crank that dial back from 1955 to 1934 and then work our way through. 1934 is where it all started. That's the first law on the books by Congress that regulates firearms. And then we're going to work our way all the way up from the National Firearms Act to the Bipartisan Safety Community Act that just passed this past year and in 2022. And then we'll work from there. So I'm very excited to go on this journey with you guys. I get a lot of questions in my shop, and this was really born out of the final rule on stabilizing braces just posted by the ATF back in January. And it's got a lot of people who, unlike, some of us in the community that have been hyper-focused on gun control, actually talk about things like the National Firearms Act. And there's just a lot of misnomers and unknown histories that people don't understand. So when we get into how can the ATF do this, and even looking at the judge's ruling recently down in Texas on that particular stabilizing brace ruling, let's talk about why the judge said what he said. And actually, I think that the judge is hinting at something here, whether he knows it or not, that we need to talk about. So in order to understand that, we'll start from the beginning and work our way all the way up. Like I said, I'm looking forward to this. We'll keep these things under 10 minutes or right around 10 minutes, and I look forward to going on this journey with you. So the first one up is, again, National Firearms Act, the NFA from 1934, and I'll see you there.